Okay everyone, so as you can see I have added some older photo overlays, and basically I try to keep all those details very subtle. So you can see that we've got some rust here, we've got some licking marks here, and there's some subtle dirt over there. I also removed some bits from the layers I showed you previously, and basically I tried to remove all those very noisy bits. So here we've got this group that contains all of those photo overlays, and if I go and disable the masks, you can see that I tried to really minimize the amount of noise in those textures. So basically we can toggle them on and off, and we can have a quick look at the changes I did. So as a general rule of thumb, I would say that minimizing the amount of damage, dirt, and so on is often a good way to increase the realism of your texture and make them look better. Going overboard and adding too much damage can often lead to some very bad results. Right, but now I'm going to show you another way of adding some damage, and this time we'll add some chipped off paint. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically go to this paint gray layer here. We're going to create a mask, and we'll be basically painting a mask that will uncover the darker metal underneath it. So let's go and let's do that. So I'll go and choose this peeling paint brush here, and now I'll press X to switch the colors to black. And now if I start painting, you will see that we start to uncover the texture underneath. But now the result is a little bit blurry. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the blending options. And now I'll select outer glow. Now by default it will apply this kind of yellowish color, but what we're going to do is we're going to go and switch it to gray that is roughly the same color as the painted metal. Now I'll change the blend mode to normal, and I'll go and increase the opacity to 100%. Now I'll go to the spread option, and I'll increase the slider to maximum. Now this will make our details disappear, but if I go and drop this size slider down to 1, we'll get this very sharp look. Okay, so now I'll click OK, and I'll simply go and start painting. So I'll simply start making some strokes using this rough brush we used before, and as you can see we've got this very sharp mask going on. As I mentioned before, we don't want the damage to cross multiple elements of the door, so I'm gonna go and remove those details here. So I'll go and click the eraser brush, and I'll simply keep this round brush here. And now I'll simply start removing the bits on the other side of the door. And I'll simply go and zoom in, and I will keep moving my brush very, very carefully close to the edge of the door, like this. Let's get this bit here. And I'll also go and I'll start making this chipped area a bit smaller, so maybe let's remove this bit here. Maybe let's add some interest there. Okay, now let's remove those tiny bits here. Right, so this is the basic idea of adding chipped paint to your texture. This process can take quite a while, so I'll skip ahead and I'll do the rest myself, and I'll show you the result in a second. Okay everyone, so now as you can see I have finished adding the damage, and basically I try to keep it fairly simple, and I try to avoid adding too much of it. I mostly try to keep it to the areas close to the edges of the door and different elements, and also I added a few of them in the middle of the surfaces. But generally just try to keep everything fairly simple. So now that we've got the rust and the chipped paint, let's go ahead and let's maybe add some scratches to this red paint.